Hey everyone, it's Caroline. Yeah, today is a rainy day where I am staying in Florida, Central Florida. And in preparation for this van life, whatever that looks like, I wanted to share a couple of things because it's not just about I'll explain that in a few minutes, but it's not just about like what's happening in buying the van and the logistics and how to do that and all that stuff. It's also about how this is a healing journey that expands on the work I've done for the last 30 years on myself. And I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. It's actually already as a blog, but I wanted to do this on video, and I want to keep, doing that for you if you choose to watch video. And then at the same time, I'm also sharing it on Substack as both the blog and a podcast. So it's also an audio. So you can pick whatever way you want to join in, however you want to do this. And I feel like the more I express how and what's happening and all this stuff, that it'll connect us together, whatever that looks like. I don't know. And maybe someday there'll be a time where I get to see people who were following me, and that would be kind of cool too. So anyway, all right. So today, what I'm going to talk about is the perfect timing of things that have been going on. There's always perfect timing, even though sometimes it doesn't feel that way. But so what's happening is, like I said, I had mentioned I'm doing the chronicling all this for the logistics, but it's also about where my emotions are going too, because it's all part of the big picture, in this journey, because there aren't, even though I've been wanting to do this my whole life, it's not something I've had the opportunity to do. So now that I'm a little bit older, I'm not going to go there. But now that I'm a little bit older, it's a different process through this. So my emotions are going in and out, and feelings. And what happened actually was last night I was watching a movie called Nomadland. I had just gotten done taking a course, a short course given by Bob Wells, who's been on the road for like 15 years, and he gives a lot of good information, talks to a lot of different people, and really gives the ins and outs of what this is like. So I'm trying to learn it. And I'd also mentioned that all this information is going in my head, and the fact that for me, talking about what I'm doing helps me to make decisions and helps me to see what's happening and what's going, to get it out of my head. So it's not like all jiggly jaggly processing in there, which is sometimes hard in itself, as you can imagine, if you are a processor and you do that anyway. So anyway, back to the movie. So what it's about, it's really interesting, and it chronicles the journey of a woman who ended up in a van because her husband died and she lost her job in a small town. I believe it was Nevada. And what happened was the main source of income, I guess, was like a factory or something, and it shut down. And so she had basically nothing. And so she had, except a van. And so she put all of her stuff that she had left in the van and took off, because they literally shut this town down and canceled the zip code from what they were talking about, that's insane. And it's sad because a lot of this stuff is happening and it's all over this country. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I've heard it before in this country. And it's more than most of us know about, and a lot of people are being displaced, and especially, over the last, since 2008, really, I guess, when all that stuff crashed back then. So it's like, and now with everything going on with things in the world the way they are, there's still these things happening. So it may not necessarily be a bad idea to do something like this. I don't think so, because it's empowering and scary at the same time. So I'm just trying to be truthful from where I'm coming from, not trying to convince anybody. I just want you to know what this journey is going to be like for me. And it's a good movie. The challenge for me watching it was, at the beginning, it takes place in the dead of winter with snow, not my favorite. Like I said, in Nevada. And yeah, I don't know if that's happening. I have decided at this point that whatever I do, I'm going to start off snowbirding, because I'm already in Florida and I might as well take advantage of that. And then decide what comes, I guess, early next year, whatever, to move into the rest of wherever I go. I mean, I don't have a problem like visiting Nevada and seeing what it's like. However, not in the dead of winter. That is not happening. So there's what I'm going to share mostly is what I'm feeling today, because I really haven't had any opportunity to work on what's coming up next with the van part of it, because I have some things I have to do. And then next week, I plan on going and starting to take a look at the vans. So, or a van, So I knew this would eventually come up in this process, because that's just what I do. The healing work always brings up emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, whatever. It's all going to come up. It comes up for us all the time. It comes up for us every day, every moment. We aren't like perfectly level all the time. If we were, it would be flatline, and that's not how life works. So what I'm going to say is, watching the beginning of the movie definitely put some fear in me. And it's more of a fear of the unknown, because I really don't know what I'm doing. However, I am learning and I'm taking my time. And I'm making sure that I talk to people. I've connected with groups online that they're out there, or they're getting ready to go out there, or they're, whatever they're doing, building out their own vans, whatever that looks like. Everybody does it a little bit differently. Some people hire companies to do it, professional companies, which is great. Not everybody has that much cash on hand or money to do that. I don't know how that works yet. I haven't really looked into it, so I'm going to check that out too. However, what I'm going to do is just see what the best case scenario is for me, for the way things are right now. So it's just, like I said, one moment at a time. This moment is all we have right now. So that's what we've got. So that's what I'm doing. The thing about the fear part was, as I was watching, and I had to breathe through some of this stuff, because that's what I talk about. I've always talked about deep breathing, just as a quick learning thing, our central nervous system actually calms itself down when we breathe. So most of us shallow breathe from here up. We don't deep breathe down into our gut. So when we deep breathe, it actually calms our central nervous system down. Some people know that, some people don't know that. I'm just sharing it because. So in the movie, things went wrong for the main character, and she was showing her emotions of frustration and sadness and fear. And she did, when things happened, there was one part where she got a flat tire in the middle of, I guess it was Arizona or something like that, in a campsite, or not a campsite, it was a BLM, Bureau of Land Management, where you can kind of go, and again, I'm still learning, so I don't really know the full ins and outs of this, but you can go to different places and either boondock, which is free, I think, or you get these licenses, or you buy a whole year's worth of places to go on certain land for very little money, a whole year at one place in one state. I think it was New Mexico, is or Arizona was like $180 to park in different places within the state. I'm like, okay, $180 compared to $1,000 a month for rent. I mean, it's like mind boggling, but anyway. All right. So she did receive assistance, and a lot of people out there who are doing these types of things. They're helpful and they're caring. And I'm sure there's like your little bits and pieces here and there that are not perfect, but it seems like as long as you stay, connected and people know where you are and different things like that, that it makes it safer. Back to the movie again, my issue, I empathically feel others' feelings. I even do it with animals if they're in pain. And it's not an easy thing for me. However, I've learned how to ground that and kind of settle it so I'm not like pulling in their feelings. And I used to watch shows on TV or even commercials on TV and just bawl for whatever the thing is. I don't do that anymore, but there are times where I will connect deeply with a character and feel what they're feeling. But a lot of us do that too. So, I'm just, again, sharing. But in parts of the movie, I don't know whether or not it was like my fear of the unknown that was coming up, or it was her stuff that was coming up. So it kind of got a little mixed up, and I sat with it. And what I can say is I don't know the answer right now in this moment, but I do know it's all going to be revealed as I take these steps, because little by little, I'm starting to see things and understand things. But like I said, it gave me time to sit with it and kind of breathe through it and be like, oh, okay, all right, it'll be okay, because there's people there, and there's opportunities to connect with people online and da, 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 da. Okay. So what I know for sure is I am not giving up on this lifelong dream that I've had since I was young. Probably more in my early 20s. I've mentioned that before. I love to travel and I love to see what's out there. And I've done this before in a Class A motorhome. And I used to go camping a lot. So I get the gist of the possibilities and probabilities of what could, should, would, whatever happen or not, and yes, there's a difference between that and a Class A motorhome. However, I've always liked the cocoon feeling. The Class A was actually too big for me. So that's why I chose to kind of look into Class B, which is a van or something, smaller. I know I can do this. I keep telling myself, I keep sitting this because I know that's who I am deep down inside. And I also know there's going to be times like this when I feel scared. That's just what happens in life. I'm okay with that because I also know that I've been meant to do this for a while. I am meant to do this, and I've had this for a long time, and I'm good with that piece of it. So that helps me get through it. And sure, there's going to be things that come up in all of this, and that's scary too. And it's like, I'm just at a point in my life where I don't want to sit and wonder what could have been and go to my grave that way. This is like really big for me with all the support I've been getting. And I so appreciate it. I've had people reach out to me and, with motivational, inspirational, all this stuff. And I'm so grateful for that because it helps me to know I can do this. I'm really grateful for that. So yeah, anyway. So the interesting thing is that I always appreciate hearing about people also who, when they die, they were at least doing things that they loved doing at the time it happened. And we're all going to eventually, that's the end state, that's what happens on this planet, where we go, what you believe in, where, whatever happens afterwards is something else, but we're all going to eventually leave this body. And I'm slowly getting into the headspace where it's okay for me to actually do something that I love. It's taken me a long time to get here. And I'm going to be vulnerable here a little bit, and this isn't like the easiest thing for me, but I need to do it. And I have to say that throughout my life, I have feared death. And just based off of the situations that happen where trauma and different things like that. And it just led me to a point where I was afraid of death. And sure, a lot of us feel that way. But what I did learn a long time ago is that the reason that I feared death so much was because I also feared life. And most of my life I've been hiding and protecting myself, and that's been a long time. And now I don't want to do that anymore. So I have a lot of life to live, and I choose to take advantage of that to the best of my ability. And again, yes, I'm scared. And again, yes, this is happening. So I hope I hope this is helping in some way. I don't know. It's helping me because I get to talk about stuff, you know. So I'm glad you were able to join me, and thank you for being here on the ride of my life. Take care. Bye-bye.